Chapter 001. Defiling a millennium-old corpse? Little Taoist, you smell so good. Let me give you a kiss that I in the dim ancient tomb. A girl in a red wedding dress gazed hungrily at Xiao Wen. She was fair-skinned and beautiful, with picturesque eyebrows and eyes. Her crimson lips slightly parted, slowly leaning toward Xiao Wen's cheek. Xiao Wen, dressed in a purple Taoist robe, was tall and handsome, right at the vigorous age of youth. He turned his head to avoid the girl's red lips and patted the ancient coffin, dark red like blood. Hey, you've been dead for over 1,000 years. Who can bear to kiss you? If you have bad breath, I'd be disgusted for years. How rude. I have a precious jade in my mouth. My lips are sweet. Just try it. The girl in red spat out a piece of jade, grabbing Xiao Wen's arm and standing up from the coffin. She tilted her head, puckering her lips, looking like she was ready for him to pick her. But Xiao Wen remained unmoved. Food can be eaten casually, but lips shouldn't be kissed randomly. Am I unseen a century, pure yang body? If you absorb my yang energy, won't I be finished? A glimmer of mischief flashed in the girl's eyes, her demeanor becoming shy. Little Taoist, am still a virgin. No man has ever touched me. I want to have some fun with you, to taste what it's like to be a woman. As she spoke, she intentionally tugged at her collar, revealing her magnificent snowy peaks. Xiao Wen, however, looked disdainful. What's so great about being a virgin? I'm still a cucumber-sized virgin. Humans and ghosts are on different paths. I'm neither Ning Kai-chen, nor do I want to be a ghost knight. You lie down obediently, ill perform a spell to help you reincarnate. Seeing his lack of romantic interest, the girl in red lost her patience. You little Taoist, you really don't know how to appreciate kindness. Now that you've fallen into my hands, it'll definitely suck your bones dry and leave nothing. She sneered, grabbing Xiao Wen and dragging him towards the coffin. At the same time, she lifted his Taoist robe, trying to untie his belt. Her strength was great, and her movements were hasty. She just wanted to do something naughty with Xiao Wen. Although the law states that one cannot go against a woman's will, Xiao Wen knew the girl in red was not human and certainly had no rights. Stop! Don't force me to slap you. Xiao Wen shouted coldly. Shout all you want, no one will save you, even if you scream your lungs out. Little Taoist, just submit to me. The girl in red not only did not stop, but became even more excited. Slap! Xiao Wen slapped her face, sending her head spinning around several times, nearly breaking her neck. She was momentarily dazed, holding her head with both hands, adjusting several times before returning to normal. How dare you be disrespectful? I'll help you reincarnate right now. Xiao Wen cursed, dragging her out of the coffin and stepping on her. Supreme order, help your lonely soul, all ghosts and spirits. May they receive grace in all lives. Those with heads shall be helped, those without heads shall ascend. Xiao Wen formed a spell gesture, quickly reciting the incantation, and golden light emerged from his fingertips. Seeing his formidable strength, and that he was about to perform a spell to help the dead, the girl in red was immediately taken aback. Spare me, Taoist, spare me. She clung to Xiao Wen's legs, crying pitifully. Taoist, my life is so miserable. I was only 18 when I was paired for a ghost marriage, and I was even buried alive. They cast a spell to seal me here, making me suffer endless torment. The girl in red cried like a weeping willow, delicate and pitiful. As she lamented, she also loosened her clothing, revealing her smooth shoulders. Seeing Xiao Wen's expression remain unchanged, she then took off her red embroidered belly wrap, opening her chest and rubbing against Xiao Wen's thigh, swaying her body. Don't try that with me, Xiao Wen said coldly, looking at her. The girl in red, undeterred, revealed a shy and timid expression, slowly taking off her long skirt. With a dazed look, she gazed up at Xiao Wen, lightly biting her lip, exuding an indescribable allure. Taoist, am I not beautiful? Please, have some mercy and let me serve you well. Xiao Wen sighed. You're really playing with fire? With that, he slapped the girl on the forehead. Slap! The girl in red immediately fell to the ground, unconscious. Supreme order, help your lonely soul. Xiao Wen formed the spell gesture again, reciting the rebirth incantation to help the dead. But just then, hurried footsteps approached. Don't move. Hands up. Several police officers burst into the tomb, surrounding Xiao Wen with guns and flashlights. Name? Age? Xiao Wen, 23. Occupation? The only heir of the Taishan sect, the current celestial master and sect leader. Taoist title, Master Wen. Enough. This is the police station. I'm taking your statement. I hope you cooperate with the investigation. Pretending to be crazy is useless. I'm telling the truth. Why don't you believe me? Xiao Wen, handcuffed, sat in the interrogation chair, frowning at the young male officer across from him. Smack! Officer Liang, his face stern, slammed the notebook on the table. In the past 2 months, strange incidents have been increasing. Some criminals impersonate Taoists to swindle money and sex. We arrested 2 last month. You're quite bold, even daring to impersonate a celestial master. Xiao Wen was too lazy to explain further, shrugging indifferently. If you don't believe me, there's nothing I can do. Liang glared at him, turning to the young female doctor beside him. Dr. Liu, give him a mental evaluation. Liu nodded, opening a lie detector and putting a heart rate monitoring bracelet on Xiao Wen. Mr. Xiao, please answer a few questions truthfully so I can assess your mental state. Do you often feel like there are different voices in your head, discussing or arguing? I'm not crazy. Of course not. Liu lowered her head and marked an X on a form. Have you ever had thoughts of self-harm or suicide? I'm only 23. My master just passed the celestial master position to me. I'm the first cultivation genius in our sect in 500 years. I have a bright future ahead with hopes of ascension. Why would I want to commit suicide? Have you ever done anything violent or cruel? I've always lived in a Taoist temple in the deep mountains. I've beaten wild men, killed wild boars and wolves. Does that count? Liu Yu's mouth twitched. Do you have any ideals or goals? Of course. Xiao Wen nodded, a smile appearing on his lips. I've been searching for ghosts since I was young. I really want to find a living ghost to study. Normal people fear ghosts. Why do you want to seek and study them? Xiao Wen looked at her as if she were foolish. I'm a Taoist celestial master. Besides being proficient in fortune-telling, Qi Min Dunjia, and Feng Shui, I'm also skilled in soul summoning and ghost capturing. I want to subdue countless spirits and fill my 10,000 souls banner, letting them assist my cultivation. Isn't that reasonable? My desire for ghosts is like your desire for mental illness, this officer's desire for criminals, or a lovesick man's desire for beauty. Liu Yu and Liang straightened up simultaneously, hastily denying it. Don't talk nonsense. I don't want that. Who desires criminals? Stop dragging me into this. Xiao Wen squinted his eyes, a playful smile on his face. I'm just making a comparison. Why are you so defensive? Liu Yu didn't dare to meet his gaze, lowering her head to scribble on the form. Liang scolded with a stern face. Xiao Wen, don't act flippantly, and don't try to change the subject. You trespassed into a newly unearthed Song Dynasty tomb and defiled a female corpse, and we caught you red-handed. According to the law, the 2 charges of grave robbery and corpse desecration can get you at least 10 years. I hope you confess your crimes honestly, reveal your motives, and the gang behind it. Xiao Wen nearly laughed in anger. I rob graves? And defile a female corpse? You gotta be kidding. If I were grave robbing, I could freely enter any tomb from the Tang or Song dynasties, even from the Qin or Han dynasties. You wouldn't even see my shadow. As for desecrating a corpse, that body has been dead for thousands of years. Who would even dare to do that? Chapter 002. How do you give benefits? Liang said sternly. That female corpse is well-preserved, looks beautiful, and has very elastic skin. She doesn't look like a corpse. She looks like a sleeping beauty. Men your age are in the phase of being unable to resist, just like a pig competing with Jiaochan. Don't argue. I've caught more than a dozen perverted creeps in the past few years. The victims include Mares cows, dogs, carp, and Komodo dragons, and so on. Xiao Wen glanced at Liu Yu, whose face was flushed and couldn't help but remind her, this young and impulsive officer Li, please be a bit restrained. This is an interrogation room, not a no man's land. Liang became even angrier, banging the table and questioning. When we caught you, the female corpse was dragged out of the coffin by you. Her clothes were in disarray, and her bodice and skirt were off. You were caught red-handed. What else can you argue about? Xiao Wen spread his hands. I know you don't believe it, but the truth is, she tried to assault me, and I subdued her. Liang was so furious, he laughed coldly. Are you saying that corpse crawled out of the coffin by itself? Yes. The clothes of the corpse were unbuttoned by her own doing. The skirt was also taken off by her. Yes, exactly. Huh. Liu Yu couldn't help but laugh out loud. Xiao Wen frowned and stared at her. What are you laughing at? I remembered something happy, Liu Yu said, biting her lip to suppress her laughter. What happy thing? My husband is having a baby. Xiao Wen's face darkened. Please leave. Liang quietly advised, Dr. Liu, we have received professional training. No matter how funny it is, we cannot laugh. Lu Yu felt a bit embarrassed and quickly changed the subject. Officer Lee, I have the test results. The lie detector and heart rate monitor showed no issues. He didn't lie and is not mentally ill. How is that possible? Li Yong couldn't believe the result, muttering to himself. Could it really be that we wronged him? At that moment, a female police officer around 25 years old, about 1.78 meters tall with a slender and athletic build, walked into the interrogation room. She was poised and graceful, with extraordinarily long legs, extremely beautiful, and had an explosive figure. Captain Su. Captain Su, you're just in time. Li Yong and Lu Yu quickly stood up and greeted the criminal police captain, Su Milan. Su Milan nodded and took out a counterfeit phone. Xiao Wen, I just checked your phone. The browsing history is full of various borderline videos featuring beautiful women. How do you explain that? Xiao Wen leisurely replied, What do you want me to explain? Is watching borderline videos illegal? Can browsing history be used as evidence? I've been practicing my Taoism in the mountains and enjoy listening to music online to hone my mind. What's the problem? His series of 3 questions left everyone a bit stunned. Su Milan couldn't refute and had to change the subject. You were caught in the act, yet you still won't admit it? The lipstick mark on your face matches the color of the corpse's makeup. How do you explain that? Xiao Wen pointed to the lipstick mark on his face and frowned. Isn't this evidence that she assaulted me? If you can't even understand this, are you really a police officer? I'm curious how you became a captain. After sizing up Su Milan, he revealed a meaningful smile. You wouldn't have relied on. Before he could finish, the usually aloof Su Milan raised her eyebrows and delivered a high kick toward his shoulder. Are you angry? Xiao Wen didn't dodge, raising his hand to grab her fair ankle, holding her long leg in place. He was about to reprimand Su Milan for her violent enforcement when it felt like he was hit by a hidden weapon, freezing in place. Su Milan was wearing a black short skirt uniform, and her front was wide open, directly facing his face. So white, Xiao Wen muttered softly. Lu Yu exclaimed, Hey, Captain Su, you exposed yourself? Oh dear, Captain Su, you just a jerk? Why are you giving him benefits? Li Yong exclaimed in distress. Su Milan was recognized as the flower of Jiangchang police, not only skilled but also highly competent, with a strong background. Countless young talents regarded her as the goddess in their hearts. Yet now, she was touched by Xiao Wen and even revealed a bit of herself to him. It was simply outrageous. Let go of me. If you keep looking, I'll gouge your eyes out. Su Milan's beautiful face flushed, a mix of shame and anger. Xiao Wen, unfazed, released his grip, appearing nonchalant. You posed for me, you forced me to look. Su Milan quickly retracted her long leg, her delicate fists creaking from being clenched. You shameless. Xiao Wen raised an eyebrow. If you feel wronged, I can show you a bit too, and we can call it even. Su Milan took a deep breath, suppressing her anger. Shut up. I'll give you one last chance. If you confess, you might receive a lighter punishment. That female corpse is in the autopsy room next door, and the forensic doctor is checking it. Once the results are in, you can wait to go to jail. Xiao Wen spread his hands in disbelief. I've already confessed the truth, and you still don't believe me? Why don't you bring that female corpse here, and I'll confront her face to face. I can make her speak and prove my innocence. Nonsense. Just then, a voice suddenly came from the walkie-talkie on Su Milan's shoulder. Captain Su, something terrible has happened. That female corpse. She is about to resurrect. What? What happened? Su Milan's expression changed, her brows furrowing in disbelief. Leon quickly turned on the surveillance screen on the wall. The screen showed a morgue. That female corpse in a red dress was still lying on the iron bed, but had changed in appearance. She was emanating black smoke, her face had become shriveled and wrinkled, her cheekbones protruding, and her hands were as dry as tree bark. Her fingers looked like chicken claws, and dark nails were rapidly growing. Her long hair twisted like little snakes, and her eyes had deep sunken sockets that glowed with a blood-red light. The middle-aged forensic doctor responsible for examining the corpse was already pale with fright, trembling against the wall. This scene made the faces of Su Milan and the others turn extremely grim. Xiao Wen immediately reminded, I forgot to tell you, once the corpse sees daylight again, it becomes extremely thirsty for living people's blood and yang energy, and it must be eliminated within 4 hours. Otherwise, she will turn into a vicious, evil spirit, going on a killing spree and devouring the living. She will wake up in 3 minutes, but I can handle her. Su Milan decisively made a decision. taking the walkie-talkie to issue orders. Notify everyone to immediately evacuate the office building. She then looked at Xiao Wen and said solemnly, Liang, uncuff him. Captain Su. Liang thought he misheard, his face filled with shock. He's a suspect. How can you trust him? Execute immediately. Su Mulan's tone was authoritative, her expression serious. If what Xiao Wen said was true, she couldn't risk everyone's safety that if what he said was false, she would punish Xiao Wen later. In any case, she had to act cautiously and be responsible for everyone's safety.